Hi everyone, it is me, your Ukrainian teacher Oля here. I'm super glad to see you, and are you as glad to see me as I'm glad to see you? I hope the answer to it is yes, because today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. We are going to learn how to say then in Ukrainian. And I find it very interesting because the word then in English is a very universal word which carries multiple meanings. So I think it's going to be super interesting to find out what equivalents we have in Ukrainian and what do they mean and how we can use them. So that is what we are going to do in this video. And before we start learning, I would like to say thank you to Patricia, who has suggested this topic to me. And also I would like to encourage you that if you have any interesting questions, any topic suggestions for me, then do not hesitate and leave them for me down below in the comments. I truly appreciate all your comments, all your thumbs up and everything, and all of your interactions with me as with a content creator. So yeah, because first of all, I would like to film videos that you are going to enjoy watching. And traditionally, before we start learning, I would like to take a moment to appreciate my patrons and say thank you so much. Your support truly means a lot. It helps me take the time of my day, of my normal day, and dedicate it to filming these videos, to doing what I truly enjoy doing. So thank you so much. You can see the names of some of my patrons on your screens, and you are welcome to join them if you would like to, if you enjoy my content and would like to support me. You can do that. I will leave the link to my Patreon down below, as well as the links to all of my other social media. And with all my patrons, I am sharing my materials, the presentations that I'm using in my videos. So if you are interested in downloading my materials, you are welcome. They are available for all patrons. And now we can finally start learning. So the word then, again, in English can have multiple different meanings. So in Ukrainian, we have three words, three closest equivalents to the word then. They all carry different meanings. So we are going to take a closer look at each of them and are going to go through as many instances as possible to make it more understandable, but also we would like to keep it very short. So we are going to talk about three words today. They are тоді, 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 то, and потім, потім, потім. So each of these words from Ukrainian into English can be translated as then. Now let's take a look what meanings do these words carry. So first of all, тоді. Тоді. Тоді we use as then when we want to say at that time, when we want to point out at some moment in the past or in the future that isn't now, okay? So we have now this moment that we live in, but anytime in the future or in the past, we can call then, right? And use Ukrainian word тоді for it. So now for better understanding, let's take a look at some instances. First one. Ми зустрілися у листопаді минулого року. Пам'ятаю, тоді було дуже холодно. Ми зустрілися у листопаді минулого року. Пам'ятаю, тоді було дуже холодно. So, ми зустрілися, we met each other, у листопаді, in November, минулого року, last year. Пам'ятаю, I remember, тоді було дуже холодно. It was very cold then. Or we can say back then, if we are talking at some moment in the past, right? In English, we can say back then. So I remember it was very cold back then, okay? At some moment in the past, in November last year when we met, okay? That's when we use тоді, okay? To point at some moment in time, which isn't now. Another instance. Тоді ми були ще зовсім дітьми. Тоді ми були ще зовсім дітьми. So, тоді, again, then or back then, because we are talking about the past, right? We have ми були, we were, so we are talking about the past, so we can say back then. So back then we were ще зовсім дітьми, are still children, we were totally kids, right? So we were super young, ще зовсім дітьми. So we were super young, we were total kids back in the day, right? Or back then. So at some moment in time, back then, back in the day, then, we were super young. Another instance, let's take a look at some point in the future. Я прийду з роботи о 6:00, тоді й поговоримо. Я прийду з роботи о 6:00, тоді й поговоримо. Я прийду з роботи о 6:00 means I will come back from work at 6. Я прийду з роботи о 6:00. At some time in the future I will come from work at 6. Тоді й поговоримо. Then, at that moment, we will talk, right? So now I cannot talk because I'm at work. But in some point in future, at 6, okay, I will come back and then we will talk at that time, right? So we use тоді, meaning then, when we talk at some point in the future or in the past, which isn't now, okay? When else? So in what other situation can we use тоді? We can also use тоді, meaning then, when we mean to say in that case, okay? When we can rephrase then and say in that case instead. Let's clarify it by instances. Чому ж ти тоді не говориш нічого? Чому ж ти тоді не говориш нічого? So, чому ж ти тоді не говориш нічого? Why don't you say anything then? Okay? So if this and this is the case, so in that case, why don't you say anything? So why don't you say anything then? Right? So instead of then, we could use in that case and the meaning wouldn't change, right? Because that's one of the meanings of then, right? In that case. So, чому ж ти тоді не говориш нічого? Why don't you say anything then? Another instance. Кого ж мені тоді любити? Кого ж мені тоді любити? I believe that's a line from some poetry. So, кого ж мені тоді любити? So whom do I love then? Okay, so if this and that is the case, I think that's about a lady whose boyfriend was a soldier, so he was, I don't know, he died at war, so the кого ж мені тоді любити? So whom do I love in that case? Now that I'm lonely, right? Then. Okay, so кого ж мені тоді любити? Here, тоді translates as then, but we can also rephrase it as in that case. Another instance. Йдеш зі мною в магазин? Так. Тоді швидше одягайся, я поспішаю. Йдеш зі мною в магазин? Are you coming with me to the store? Так, yes. Тоді швидше одягайся, я поспішаю. Then dress up, then get ready. Faster, швидше, faster, я поспішаю. I am in a hurry. So, йдеш зі мною в магазин? Are you coming to the store with me? Yes. Well, in that case, hurry up because, dress up faster because I am in a hurry. Okay? Тоді. Another instance. Підеш зі мною на футбол? Вибач, сьогодні не зможу. Тоді піду сама. Підеш зі мною на футбол? Will you come with me to the match? In the US, I believe you call it soccer, right? For the rest of us, it's football. So, are you coming to see football? Are you coming to the match with me? Вибач, сьогодні не зможу. Sorry, today I can't. Today I can't make it. Тоді піду сама. Then I will come by myself. Or I will go by myself then. Or in that case, right? That's what we mean to say when we say then in this particular sentence, right? Next, another instance when we can use then, another meaning that then can carry. So, when one action happens after the other. So, we used to say then in order to show the order of things, right? So, first this thing happened, and then after this thing, this other thing happened, right? So, to show the order in which they were happening, we can use then. For instance, він зняв окуляри, а тоді подивився на неї. Він зняв окуляри, а тоді подивився на неї. Він зняв окуляри means he took his glasses off, а тоді подивився на неї, and then looked at her. Okay? So, first thing that happened was that he took off his glasses. Він зняв окуляри, and then, and after that, right? Подивився на неї. We used тоді, to say then. Another instance. Світлана зайшла до кімнати. Тоді погасила світло і закрила вікно. Світлана зайшла до кімнати. Світлана entered the room. Кімната means room. So, Світлана зайшла до кімнати. Світлана entered the room. Тоді погасила світло і закрила вікно. Then switched off or turned off the light. І закрила вікно and closed the window. Okay? So, Світлана зайшла до кімнати, the first thing to happen, and then, after that, right, what happened? She switched off the light and closed the window. Okay? So, that's when we use тоді, meaning then, in three main cases. First, when we are talking about some moment in the past or in the future, which isn't now, okay? When we say then, meaning in that case, then we also use тоді, or when we want to say that one thing happened after the other, when we want to show the order in which things happened, okay? First this and then the other. So that's when we use тоді, meaning then in English. When do we use то? То in Ukrainian also is quite a universal word of many meanings. But in this case, instead of then, when we use it. So we use to as a conjunction, which is usually used in a compound sentence. What is a compound sentence? A compound sentence is a sentence that that consists of few clauses, okay? So sort of different parts of a sentence, which are united into one. So usually it is used as a conjunction. Again, usually in the beginning of the main clause. And it means then. I know it sounds a bit unclear. Now let's clarify that with the instances. So first one. Що трапилось? Ой, не питай. Як не одне, то інше. Що трапилось? Ой, не питай. Як не одне, то інше. Що трапилось means what happened. So you see somebody, a friend of yours, for instance, and they looked very disturbed or very tired. Що трапилось? Ой, не питай. Ой is an exclamation. Ой. Не питай means don't ask. Like don't even ask, don't get me started, right? Як не одне, то інше. So як не одне, то інше is a Ukrainian phrase, is an idiom. It means that a person is experiencing a lot of mishaps, right? One bad thing happens, so if not this one, then the other, and then the other, and then the other. So there is always something to worry about. There is always something on your mind, okay? So як не одне, if not one, то інше, then the other. Як не одне, то інше. If not one, then the other. So in this case, in Ukrainian, we would use to say then. Instance number 2. Як підеш, то більше не вертайся. Як підеш, то більше не вертайся. So, як підеш, if you leave, or like if you go, то більше не вертайся. Then don't come back anymore. Right? I'm done with that sort of behavior. So, if you leave now, don't come back anymore. Як підеш, if you leave. So here we use як, not meaning how, but meaning if. So як підеш, if you leave, then don't come back anymore. То більше не вертайся. Okay? Another instance. Number 3. Якщо втомилася, то сядь і відпочинь. Якщо втомилася, то сядь і відпочинь. Якщо втомилася, means if you are tired, if you got tired, то сядь і відпочинь. Then sit and relax. Okay? So, if this and that, then this and that. So, if this happens, then that should happen. Okay? So, different clauses together, connected together with then, with the word then. And in that case, in Ukrainian, we use to. Okay? So, now let's take a look when we use потім. Потім, the last one, the word number 3. So, потім means then in Ukrainian. When we mean to say later, after that, after something happens. So, one thing happened and then later, after that, or right away, or maybe later, after some time, something else happens, okay? Потім. So, literally, потім means after that. It consists of 2 words. По and тім. По тому means after that. So it literally means after that, right? And again, we can use that to say after that or to say then in English. Let's take a look at some instances. 1. Вони довго йшли, а потім раптово зупинились. Вони довго йшли, а потім раптово зупинились. Вони довго йшли means they were walking for a while, for a long time. Довго means for a long time. So they were walking for a long time. And then, а потім, and then, раптово зупинились. Suddenly stopped. Right? So again, we are showing the order of things here. Right? So first thing happened, they were walking. The first action, and then suddenly after that they stopped, right? So first thing happened and then the second thing happened. We used потім to say later, after that, after something happened. Next. Степан подивився на Галину, потім на мене, а тоді засміявся. Степан подивився на Галину. Степан looked at Галина. Потім на мене. Then at me. А тоді засміявся. And then he laughed. Okay, so first Степан looked at Галина. Then after that he looked at me. А тоді засміявся. Noticed how we used тоді, the word that we learned before. And then he laughed. Okay, next. Спочатку вони сварилися, а потім довго сміялися. Спочатку вони сварилися, а потім довго сміялися. So first, спочатку means at first or first. Вони сварилися, they argued or they had a fight, сварилися. А потім, and then, and later, and after that, довго сміялися. They had a long laugh, right? They laughed for a long time. Probably the reason for their fight was ridiculous, right? So, спочатку вони сварилися, а потім, and then, and after that, they were laughing. Another instance. Я відповім на дзвінок, і потім до тебе зайду. Я відповім на дзвінок, і потім до тебе зайду. So let's imagine a neighbor is asking you to visit them, right? But you have somebody on the phone. And you say to your neighbor, я відповім на дзвінок, і потім до тебе зайду. I will answer the call, and then, and after that, до тебе зайду, і потім до тебе зайду. Okay? So, я відповім на дзвінок, і потім до тебе зайду. I will answer the call, and then I will come to you, to visit you, to see you. Another instance. Спочатку ми повинні закінчити роботу над цим проектом, і лише потім ми зможемо взятися за новий. Спочатку ми повинні закінчити роботу над цим проектом, І лише потім ми зможемо взятися за новий. So, спочатку, at first, ми повинні закінчити роботу над цим проектом. Ми must закінчити роботу, finish work, над цим проектом, on this project. So, first we must finish working on this project. І лише потім, and only after that, ми зможемо взятися за новий. And only then, and only after we are done with the first one, we can take a new one, okay? So yeah, and that is how you use потім when you mean then in Ukrainian. So yeah, that's all I wanted to tell you today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. So if you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. I will truly, truly appreciate it. Or a thumbs down. If you didn't, also do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that we can learn Ukrainian together. And I will see you in my next video, hopefully very soon. Bye!